was looking for a van or a Jeep. I didn't know you had a.
I got one of these. This is
fancy digs.
Pretty fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Well, thank you, Leslie. It's good to see you, sweetie.
Thank you. Oh, what fun on this rainy day. When I saw the rain this morning, I thought, oh no, we're never doing this
We'll
today.
do it anyway. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, this is so cool.
How you been?
I've been good.
What are you doing?
I'm working on my articles for the paper right now.
All right, so you're doing that, huh? You never stop working?
I never stop. I'm working on a book, another book. I have a Christmas book coming out in September, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How did you get involved? When did the interest in doing craft? How would you describe yourself, first of all?
Well,
as a designer?
I always say I'm a writer. No, I write
you're a writer.
Yeah, I write about design. I write about home. I write about how people live. I love interviewing people because I feel your home tells your story.
I didn't know you did that. Is that new?
No.
But Leslie, you and I have known each other since the 90s.
Years, yeah.
Since I started almost doing TV. And you were a big advertiser way back when you had your shop.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
And that was your life, that shop. Leslie Linsey.
Yeah, it was, but I've always been a writer.
I see. I did not know that about you.
I came out of the womb knowing I was going to write. I've been writing a newspaper column since I was 13 years old. I wrote a column for the Stanford Advocate called A Teenage Lament. And every kid in town would dump their problems on me to write about.
How old were you then?
13.
Really?
Yeah. And then I started writing the column for the newspaper at home on Nantucket. 40 years ago, every week.
And that one is about?
Well, it's all about home, at home on Nantucket.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's going on in your house, decorating, or, I write on everything from gentrification, what's going on the island, to fixing a leaky pipe.
So you've seen in 40 years the articles that you've written. If you were to look back, huh?
Oh yeah. It's funny.
Do you like what you're writing now?
Oh yeah, I love it.
You still love it?
Oh, I love it.
It doesn't matter what you write about?
No, I'm a writer for hire. I write the feature of the week for the real estate section of the newspaper. So I'm in and out of houses all the time. I know all the houses that are for sale. It's like being a voyeur and getting paid to do it.
Gosh,
cool.
you're a big. I've got some questions for you now, and a lot of people that know that.
I know. I don't put a byline on that one, but everybody knows it. They all know I write it.
All right, go ahead.
But no, I started writing books. I was going to school for journalism in the early 70s. I was in graduate school, and Doubleday came to me and asked me to do this book on decoupage. It was a craft that I knew a lot about, and nobody knew what that was. They'd come up to me and say, "Is that décolletage, or what is that?"
What is it?
It's applied cutouts. It's a French craft. My grandfather was an architect, and he would make these little boxes for my mother and me. And I was you cut out botanicals and paper prints. Basically, it's illustration by cutting out fine prints, unlike collage, which is more freer, just ripping papers. And as I said, my grandfather made these little boxes, and I was doing this. I learned it from my mother, and I was doing it in order to put myself through graduate school. And so celebrities were buying them, from
where was this?
In New York.
In New York.
Selling to Tiffany's and Cartier's and
while you were going to college?
Yeah. And I lived in Connecticut. And so I'd go into New York with my boxes in my brown A&P shopping bag, and sell them. And I was pretty good. Otherwise, I guess I wouldn't have sold them. And so,
I'd say so, yeah.
What happened was Jackie Kennedy started collecting them. And Doubleday and New York Magazine wrote about me. And so Doubleday came to me and asked me if I would do a book on decoupage. And it was back when crafts were really hot. And so I don't know. I always thought,
that was an era of crafts. Yeah.
And so I thought, oh wow, I come from a very creative family. My mother was a dress designer's assistant, and as I said, my grandfather was an architect, and my grandmother was an artist. So I did all these things, but I never thought I could make a living at it,
Yeah.
So anyway,
but you thought you'd be a writer, though.
Oh,
I mean, that's what you wanted
that's
to.
What I wanted
but
to
you
do.
did keep writing.
Always.
So
Even when I
not
had a
only would
store.
you do the crafts, which you realized could make you pretty good money.
Well,
right?
not pretty good, but enough. I used it to write for my writing. I started doing books. After that, I said, gee, they gave me a chunk of money. I took all the money. I'd been coming here in summers with my family. So I took all the money and I bought my house on Union Street.
Were you married then?
You could do
Were you married
No,
then?
I bought
You were
it
single.
myself.
That same house
single.
I just picked you up in?
Yeah, but it wasn't like that.
No.
It was a cottage.
It was a cottage.
Every time I sold a book, I added a room. So I learned how to do the crafts in order to write the books. And then I became the craft editor at Family Circle for 15 years. So I was writing and doing everything, all that stuff.
Yeah, but you could live here still?
Always. I always lived here.
Always
I
could.
never went to an office. I always lived here. And of course, I went back and forth a lot to New York, and we would rent an apartment for 3 months. Now, John was, my husband was my partner. He did all the photography and the graphic design.
When did you meet him? Was it here?
No.
I never knew where you met him.
No, I met him in Connecticut.
But you were married before John, right?
Yeah, I was, just briefly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, a breath.
From here?
No,
Was it
Connecticut.